I have Six Samurai Fiendsmith of all things for you. The wonderful adventures of White Forest continues, and Kashtira as well. Make sure you guys smash the like and crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. And you know, I'm happy to see Six Samurai coming back into the arena out here, because I think a lot of people kind of forgot that this was a strong challenger out of the meta. You know, the amount of loops that you're able to do with red and blue is actually just kind of insane. And, you know, the fact that you are even, the fact we have a legal loop in the game really says something about the development of the game and how things have been going, and just kind of some of the stupid, crazy things that you're able to do with this. Now, Asian Persuasion has a fantastic tutorial on how to play this pile of cards out here. And if you are looking to try something that's going to be a little bit more mind-provoking, thought-provoking, and trying to give you an opportunity to genuinely come up with a really insane strategy, I think that this is going to be a good place to start. You know, it's still kind of a shame that obviously, you know, Gateway is still kind of limited, and, you know, we don't really get the crazy power that this card provides because of that limitation. But I think it's probably better that we don't actually get this, because, you know, TCG players, the minute you give them an inch, they're going to run a mile. And I can only imagine what 2 Gateway of the Six Samurai would actually do to the competitive side of this game. Just wanted to throw that out there. Also, since we are doing more of the Fiendsmith cards, you do see a little bit of a cutback on the Battle Shogun, but also getting access to a Bao Q in this deck kind of opens up the doors to some of the better lines of play that you're going to be able to do. I too love extra extensions, extra things that we're able to do, because, you know, Link 4 is nothing for this deck to be able to do. Like, you'll do it so easily, it's insane. Also, we're playing one copy of the Sextuple Barrage, which is actually really, really freaking cool to see. So, yes, there was some Six Samurai action. Yes, it was very, very real. Next up here, we have White Forest Toy Box for you here. Now, for a lot of people, White Forest people have been excited for Supreme Darkness for this format. People wanted the chance to see what we can actually do with the White Forest stuff. And it's taken a little bit of time, but I think we have something going here. Now, this was actually a pretty nice finish. It did manage to make its way into day 2 out here for this, but keep in mind, I mean, Stellar still kind of proves that she is not exactly the best one out here. You know, Stellar, it's really funny because Stellar started off as like the best one. Everybody's like, oh, they're so excited. But as time has gone on, we have definitely taken a step back from this and been shaving down, you know, the numbers for this. So it's actually really good. And of course, still maximizing on a set. Now, we are playing 2 copies of the newest set. I think that this is fine. Typically in Pure, you're going to be looking at 2 of these, which is usually going to be what you want to be seeing out here. Now, in terms of the rest of the deck, obviously your Wanted Diabellstar package with the Deception is going to be helping you out massively. All right, I cannot stress enough out here how strong that this package actually kind of allows you to do the little stupid setup plays. Also, you are a lot more extended in this build. You know, you're even going as far as to play the Mo Regina in here just to put that pressure on your opponent, just so that you can do your thing. Outside of that, obviously this deck gets much stronger post-Alliance Insight. We all know this, but for now, this is the way that the build has a structure of. You have to rely on the toy box stuff for the soldier and the tank in order to be those very strong revolving pieces, so that, you know, you can continuously put that power on the board and actually manipulate your opponent. Yep, I love bodies to synchro with. All right, next up here, we have Kashtira Fiendsmith. Now, I think that this got classified from the YCS as a Fiendsmith pile, which, okay, man, I understand why. Like, when you look at these builds, they all kind of blend together. They're all kind of the same thing. You know, Fiendsmith Engraver out here still does all the stupid things. But this build, I really think we went a lot further than a lot of these other builds have, because, I mean, triple Lacrima, like, really? Like, this was what we needed to do in order to keep this deck going? That's actually kind of interesting. Because, most builds are like, you only need one Lacrima. There's no reason to go beyond this. If you do too much, it's going to feel really bad. And I do kind of agree with that, sure. But I think this was probably one of the saving graces of this. Also, actually playing the double Desiree. Obviously, we got Rex Tremende. Unfortunately, Rex Tremende does not do anything in the TCG because we don't have Lacrima. It's kind of interesting to see, how the package got split in the two metas. OCG is able to actually use Rex Tremende and all this. Meanwhile, the TCG looks at Desiree and goes, this is the better boss monster. Between two regions, making those opposite decisions has been very, very impressive, to actually say the least. Also, I see we're packing in M7 in here. This was not a toolbox choice that I thought I would be seeing today, but, this is, nonetheless, this is pretty impressive to see this card getting tossed in here because, for what it is, free bounce ability, card actually kind of allows you to slap on into a Zeus too, but, hey, we'll take those. So, yes, we did have some Kashtira action. Cash is still kind of doing its thing. I don't expect anything less from this deck, but it's just one of those cases of, hey, mid-range control still doing what mid-range control wants to actually do out here. Not surprised about that. Next up here, we have Maliss. Good stuff. So this was Zeffy's, was it second place Dragon Duel? I got reached out to and was like, hey, you want to cover? So I was like, okay, I'll take a peek at this, just kind of what are we doing? So you're still going to be doing the standard buy steal good stuff. Triple Druis Worm is a godsend for this deck. Just being able to do all of that craziness all wrapped up in what this card is capable of doing. It's so stupidly good. You also do see Shifter running around in triples out here. The TCG meta has evolved to a point right now that, you just slap in the triple Shifter and you go. It's just going to be one of those situations, and I know as much as we hate it, having the Shifter resolve, even though, Maliss was the second most represented deck in the meta, people aren't really afraid of seeing Shifter all that much in that mirror match, at least right now. Obviously, post next set, a Shifter is going to be a crazier thing, but okay, we also were side decking the 3 Meows down here. Most of these side decks have been dedicated to more of the anti-Maliss side of the equation. Even the Maliss side deck itself is made to counteract the other Maliss matchups. And, I mean, it makes sense, right, considering how stupid that this matchup itself can actually be. You also do see that we have the Dominus Impulses down here in the side deck as well for immediate access to kind of clear out your opponent. Feels so good. And of course, hey, it's Abao. Abao actually, being the temporary boss monster in here until we get a Code Talker, actually looks pretty good. Outside of that, you've got very, very strong options available to you. Your Maliss deck. Oh, also only 2 lures. That's also kind of interesting, but all right, very tacked out. I like this. Next up, we have the ultimate Time Wizard. Good stuff. I believe that this was second place, and yes, Hedgeguard. Now, during damage calculation in either player's turn, when a monster you control attacks or is attacked, send this card from your hand to the graveyard to have the attack of that monster you control till the end of this turn, and it cannot be destroyed by battle. Yes, we've reached the point out here that good old Gladiator Beast have been looking for some haha funny interactions to do things. So you can actually Hedgeguard protect your Gladiator Beast, and then the Glad can actually trigger at the end of the battle phase and do your thing. Nobody, and I can't say anybody in modern era would have really seen this one coming, but I think, I don't really get a chance to talk a lot about Edison, changes, but Hedgeguard is a really, really funny one to actually be seeing. You got the triple trap stun, turn off your opponent's stuff. Obviously Wabaku's definitely going to be one of those bigger things. The battle phase is going to be where this deck exceeds at doing its thing. Also, you see the Cyber Dragons. We are actually side decking the second copy of Ready Ari, which is kind of nice. And you also do see the old Ancient Forest shenanigans that this deck obviously was able to do. But outside of that, this should give you a little bit of an idea of what you need to be doing for Gladiator Beast actions and the Time Wizard setting, and give you a fantastic chance to kind of see where the meta is going. So what do you guys think about everything today. I gotta tell you, it is a beautiful place out here to see things like this. So please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.